Hello, SARcasters, and welcome back to SARcast. Today's episode will focus on what's known as celiac disease. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease of the small intestines. Autoimmune diseases are pathogens that attack the body's white blood cells. White blood cells are also known as T cells, which are deemed as good cells. Just as water is a necessity for our bodies to function properly, T cells are just as important. These wonderful cells are what the body uses as part of a defense mechanism. I like to think of T cells as branches of the military that go out and defend their countries. Celiac disease also is referred to by the acronym CD. Celiac disease causes a breakdown of the body's ability to absorb nutrients. Celiac disease basically destroys body's small intestines. Celiac disease is caused by gluten intake. Gluten is a matter found in barley, wheat, and rye. These components, and I'm referring to barley, wheat, and rye, contain what's called prolamins, and the most potent prolamin is gliadin, which is found in wheat. What are symptoms affiliated with celiac disease? Some symptoms affiliated with celiac disease are inclusive of inflammation, pain, constipation, and other severities in the small intestines. So now I'd like to name risk factors, just to name a few: a family history of celiac disease, type 1 diabetes, which is also known as insulin-dependent diabetes, thyroid disease, skin disease, connective tissue disease, and also biliary cirrhosis. Now I'd like to provide you with foods to avoid once diagnosed with this horrible plague. So these foods include malt milk, malt vinegar. Gluten is also in some beers, breads, crackers, salad dressings, hot dogs, and sauces. One big problem with the fight against celiac disease is healthcare disparities, in which we've discussed in previous SARcast episodes. Just remember, healthcare disparities, they're inequalities. I'll provide you an example. So, there may be several resources, funded dietitian services in a wealthy incomed area, whereas in a low income, there may tend to be a lack thereof dietitians, resources, and awareness tools. So now it's time for a did you know moment. Believe it or not, gluten is what makes the elasticity in doughs. Gluten plays the role of pretty much a paste. It serves the role of holding the foods together. So an example is, think of how the dough is sturdy. You can stretch it, pull it, and tug it. Imagine no gluten, then it would practically fall apart. Do you know that infants can become at risk for developing celiac disease as early as 4 months? Now, this can develop mainly due to gluten intake. Do you know that gluten is found in certain medications, lipsticks, toothpaste, mouthwash, and certain vitamins? Beast-mowed-lawn-care was started in 2019. Jason Cruz has over 10 years experience. Services offered include bi-weekly cuts, trimming, sod, pressure washing, laying pine straw, and mulch. And if you mention that you heard about Beast Mode on SARcast, you'll receive a 15% discount that will be applied to your first service. My yard is everything. Jason Cruz is the owner of Beast Mode and a proud sponsor of SARcast. Thanks, Jason. The CryoPlace is Atlanta's premier sports recovery and Wellness Center. The CryoPlace is dedicated to positively influencing your lifestyle by focusing on recovery. Services offered are inclusive of whole body cryotherapy, compression therapy, stretch sessions, massage, and physical therapy. From athletes to those looking for workout recovery, pain relief, stress reduction, or detoxification, cryotherapy provides the best science-approved solution for relaxation, restoration, and rejuvenation. Tanisha Anstrell is the owner of the CryoPlace and a proud sponsor of SARcast. Thanks, Tanisha. Concluding, I would like to share that I have a friend who suffers from celiac disease. She experienced polyps, has to maintain a certain gluten-free diet. Now, polyps are a growth found in the colon and sometimes in the rectum. Polyps have been classified as harmless for the most part, but they can develop into cancer. I will speak on polyps in an upcoming episode. My friend found out through a colonoscopy. So let's just remember, participate in recommended screenings. Our T cells, they are essential and we need those around. So when we think of T cells, we will substitute the T for triumphant. The word triumphant is significant of a battle that has already been won. Remember, read the labels, look for the wording gluten-free. Wrapping up this episode, I'd like to remind you that SARcast is now hosted on several different platforms, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Apple Podcast, iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, and TuneIn. Let's remember the SARcast email. This email is just in case you need to get in contact with me with regards to the information provided. That email is tip@sarcast101.com. That's TIP@sarcast, SARcast 101.com. Let's not forget the mission statement of SARcast. That mission statement is TIP: transforming, informing, performing is absolutely what SARcasters do. If you have not already done so, please follow the podcast, share with others by clicking the button to follow the podcast. You're allowing yourself to be alerted each and every time an episode of SARcast is released. Again, thank you, SARcasters. Stay safe and take care.